Why, hello there. Hello and welcome to a stream. I had to shove a pill down Freddy's throat, so I gave him a little treat. And we're here. We are here. Hello, Bye, One Love, Chastity, Servalos, Kitten Claws. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Let me put my earbud away. Okay. All right. We're locking in. So you may have noticed, you're all getting the first glance at it. You're getting the first look. And that is, I got a haircut. Like today. Like I got a haircut today. And it is a lot shorter, but long story short, that's funny. That's a pun right there if you know what those are. And so I had an undercut for years. Like before transition, pretty much everything, like all this side hair, all the hair in the back, it was all shaved. Like, and the only long hair I had was like up top. And so when I started transitioning, I was like, well, I no longer want an undercut. I would like my hair to be nice and long. So I started growing it out. And this is how long my hair has gotten in like a little over a year and a half, like a year and 7 or 8 months or 9 months or something like that. And I finally got to the point where I was like, I want my hair to be cute and even. And it's annoying when you don't have, like, my hair was really uneven. If you ever looked at it close enough before I got the haircut, you would have noticed that I had some really long hair and then everything else was like shorter. And it made it really hard to style it. It made it really hard to do anything with it. It was just, I don't know, like I got it layered. And so now it's like nice and cute and layered. And I think it looks nice. But I was really nervous. I was super nervous because my long hair was like down past my chest. So I definitely took some length off of it, Freddy. Definitely took some length off of it, but I think it looks nice and good, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So you're all getting the I just cracked open a sparkling water. So you're all getting the initial look here. And yeah, I like it. Thanks for the compliments. PRX Thistle says, "Hey Leah, guess who's pregnant? You? Is it you? If so, congratulations. By the way, congratulations. Looks Freddy approved. Yeah, true. Freddy loves your hair. Yeah. Yeah, he just loves me. He's just a very affectionate boy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Welcome to a couple more people here. We've got Glenn, PRX Thistle, Joy, Zostar, Erica. Welcome. Not actually, body doesn't know the difference. So that's funny. One Love asked, how's Freddy been with the tummy issues? And he is improving. So so he was on a chicken and rice food. It's like a cooked at a low heat. So it is a kibble, but it is, hey Quinn, it is it's a very, very good formula of food. It has like basically just the natural ingredients. Thank you, Bobtailed. I appreciate that. But yeah, just natural ingredients, no preservatives, nothing gross, nothing bad for Fredster. And it's cooked at a low temperature, so even though it's dry kibble, it's still got a lot of enzymes. It's basically as healthy as you can get without going on a raw diet. Sorry, I'm really, really dehydrated, so I'm like chugging some water. I like slept in for a long time, so I like am way behind on drinking water today. But yeah, so he was on, okay, so food. He's on a healthy brand of food. He was on chicken and rice, and he was doing really well on the chicken and rice. I'm not gonna lie, but he was still having issues. And so I was like, huh, I wonder if maybe he's got like a chicken allergy, or maybe maybe he just doesn't like the chicken and rice. Like maybe it's not settling well in his stomach or something. And so I swapped him to a different kind of food. It's whitefin and duck, and it it did not do well. It did not do well with Fred. He was actually worse on the whitefin and duck than he is on the chicken and rice, and I think that's partly because the rice is actually very good for their tummy. It's actually a very soothing ingredient for cats, like just a little bit of rice in their food. And then on top of that, chicken is a rather it's a pretty good food for cats. Duck is like a lot fattier than chicken. So he had a pretty bad reaction to that. So I swapped him back to the chicken and rice, and he's been significantly better. He's still having accidents, but they are really, really, really tiny accidents, and he's having them less frequently, which is really good. So he's also on this like really powerful probiotic prebiotic combo. And if I'm being honest, I think that the last piece of the puzzle, I think his diet is good. I think the probiotic prebiotic thing that he's on is really, really good. The only thing I think now is I'm pretty sure Freddy has like IBS or something. Like it's clear to me at this point that it's not diet related. It's not, well, it was in part diet related, but it's no longer diet related, and it's no longer, oh, we'll talk about that hormone stuff here in a second. So yeah, it's mostly like he's got some kind of IBS thing going on. It's not just his microbiome, it's not just his diet. Like that stuff is doing a lot better. I think Freddy just has some kind of form of IBS, and so I'm probably gonna look into like some kind of like medication to help with that. Like I've heard some things about prednisone, so I might try prednisone. Oof, drinking some sparkling water. Apologies for my tummy. Erica's first time catching a stream. Congratulations, welcome. Happy to have you here. Thanks for helping me get the marker and name and stuff. Things got bad. My mom got metastatic breast cancer, and Trump's gonna take my healthcare. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Lauren. I really hope that your mom pulls through with that. My mom also had breast cancer, so I totally understand how scary that is, and I'm really, really sorry. And so I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. It's Abdequani. That's probably wrong the way I just pronounced that, but they said start stockpiling hormones, girls. And then Pepper Wizard said, how would you even go about stockpiling? Is that a DIY thing only? So yes, there is information about DIY online, and I do recommend learning about that. But if you are prescribed hormones, how you would stockpile is you go to your you essentially go to your doctor and you say like, hey, I'm really worried about, losing access, and I want to make sure I have a backstock of medicine, because like if you're on injections especially, that stuff lasts a while. Like you can keep that stuff for a long time. Like it doesn't necessarily go bad that quickly. I don't know how long you can keep like pills or patches, but my hormones vials, the expiry date is like at least a year from now, and it's like a year and a half from now, and I think you can even keep them a little bit longer than that. So essentially what you would do is you would talk to your doctor and you would say, hey, I would like to stockpile medicine, and they can try to prescribe you a higher dose, and then you can get that, and you just don't use all of it. Like obviously, like you don't actually take a higher dose, you just get it prescribed to you, and then you yeah. But if you're on injections, like I can get a new vial every single month, and they last me like 4 months. So Like I can stockpile without having to do basically anything. And so injections are definitely the easiest if you're trying to stockpile. Definitely the easiest. Um, I'm on injections. They give me 1 vial a month, but I use them until they're gone, which is about over 3 months per vial. So every 3 months I can save 2 vials. Yeah, so I have about a year worth backstocked. Hashi is fine. Okay, cool. Thank you. Um, yeah, I have about a year backstocked of HRT. And that's just to prepare me in case something happens and I have to go through other channels to get it. Just gives me that peace of mind knowing that I'll have the time to figure that out without having interruptions to my treatments. Someone accurately pointed out, where is it? Kitten Claus says not all insurance lets you get a larger amount, sadly. Yeah, that is very dependent on your insurance. It's very dependent on what they're willing to cover. And that is an unfortunate reality. So it might be worth like okay, my insurance, I used to be on patches, right? And my insurance fought me on the patches for a long time. Like they did not want me to be on the patches. They almost refused to cover them, and it was really expensive for me to get the patches. And then when I swapped to an injection, it got easier. Like for some reason, they're more willing to cover the injections than they are willing to cover the patches. And so that's like kind of crappy. But if at all possible, if you are worried about this issue, like if you're on pills and you're really worried about making sure you're able to backstock and they don't want to cover an increase in dosage for your pills, then you might want to consider swapping to something like injections if that is at all possible for you. I know a lot of people have needle fear. I also have needle anxiety. I will say it does get a little easier over time. It still freaks me out, but it's become a part of my routine. And so like every week, like today was my injection day. So every week I get up and I get ready and I sit there with the needle like hovering above my skin. And I'm just like freaking out. I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And so essentially what I do is I just count to like 3. I go like, okay, on 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I just go for it. Like I just go for it. And it's usually fine. You know, you get better at like placement over time. I had someone recommend to me, if you're doing injections, to get like the certain kind of lamp, because if you put a lot of light on the skin, you can actually see where the veins are most of the time, especially if you're on estrogen and your skin is thinned out a bit. You can usually see where the big veins are, and that's where it really hurts to inject. So you want to look out for that. Also, there's like less vasculature in the butt, so some people have an easier time injecting in the butt because it's less likely to strike something that would hurt. But yeah, it's a whole process. Point being, I would recommend definitely for people to do that. I don't know exactly when these cuts go into effect. I think I heard 2026 or 2028 or something. Your Spiro and estradiol pills are dated to expire after 1 year, FYI. Yeah, and that's about the same with vials of estrogen. You can ask your doctor directly if how like confident they are. Like I would ask your doctor, like, how long can I use these before I should be worried about their effectiveness? Because like medication, when it hits the expiry date, essentially it's just getting less effective from that point. So like you can still take it, it's just not going to have the total effect of like a quote unquote fresh medicine or medicine that's not as old. And so I would say like figure out how long you can use that stuff, how long it's good for, and then stockpile up to that date. But I would also like to say you could only ever stock 1 year's worth. You know, you make that sound like a bad thing, Cassidy, but like to be totally honest with you, that's not all medications become less effective. Some medications become deadly. Okay, yeah, I'm not a doctor. Like I'm not a doctor. So don't like, I'm talking about like, I know that's like how aspirin is or whatever, but like just, you know, talk to your doctor. That's why I said talk to your doctor. So talk to your doctor. Do not just say, oh, YouTuber said it, so it must be fine. Like go talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor. Okay. And I feel like that should be obvious. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to say that 7 times for you all to understand that I'm like just saying shit. But like, can you please just understand that, like, yeah. Anyway. But having a year worth, that's a long time. Like, if you have a year of backstocked medicine, in my opinion, that is plenty of time to figure out where you're going to get it, how you're going to get it, even enough time to save up money to afford it. So, like yes, it would be super cool if you could backstock like 5 years or whatever, but like a year is quite a long time. So I would not be worried about getting more. Like 6 months to a year of backstocked medicine, I think is plenty. Like, I think that's plenty. Oh, that's so good. Let me see here. That's a good idea. I get prescribed patches and they expire over a year from when they're given. So I think I'll do the next appointment. Thanks so much. Yeah, of course. Knowing insurance companies, they probably won't cover patches because they're easier to use and injections are scary. Um, for me, the reason why it was hard to get prescribed patches, as far as I'm aware, it's because trans women take a lot more estrogen, obviously, to get to proper blood levels than cis women. Because, like, the reason why we have estrogen patches and injections and stuff are for women with, oh, what what's happening? Why are we backstocking? Okay, so like 150,000 trans women, or trans people, I should say, not just trans women. 150,000 trans people are going to lose access to HRT because of the big beautiful bill. It was signed into law. Like, it is passed and signed into law. And in that provision, they're going to make it so that you cannot get HRT with what is it, Medicare? Is that the one? I always get them confused. One of them is for old people, one's for poor people. So it's like, or underprivileged people, I should say. I don't know. I don't know exactly when these things go into effect, Medicaid, but I don't know exactly when these things go into effect. But like 150,000 people are going to lose access to HRT because of the bill, and so those people are going to need a backstock of medicine, so that when insurance stops covering the HRT, they can then have a backstock of medicine while they look for something for another option, while they look for a different way to get access to HRT. So Quinn says, I have tons of old estrogen that have gotten mixed in with my regular ones and they work just fine. Yeah, I mean, I would talk to a doctor about that. Air oxygen is the main culprit. Most vials should be okay past date, but some break down over time. Yeah, like if it's an unpunctured vial, that is, not that you have, like, you've stored it properly. So like, obviously, if you've got an estrogen vial, keep it out of the sun, keep it somewhere cool. If it's out of the sun and unpunctured and in a cool area, then like you're fine. Like, that should be good for a decent while past the date. I don't know exactly how long. Again, you should ask your doctor. But like, the punctured vials are the ones I think you have to worry more about, because there is an element of air exposure after the seal has been punctured, even though it's like a vacuum system. Um, I've been backstocking since last year. I've actually also been backstocking for a long time, because about a couple years ago, Ohio tried to ban HRT for like adults and kids. Like, they tried to make it so that 80, like, they tried to put in these rules and regulations that would basically have made HRT impossible to get for like 80% of adults in Ohio. And so I was very prepared to go on DIY HRT. And for that reason, I started backstocking my medicine just in case, I lost access to my care. So like, I've been backstocking for a while now, almost since I started on HRT. Like, I've been on injections for a while now, and I still have patches. Like, I still have patches from when I was on patches, and that's been almost a full year. cool and dark, but don't refrigerate estrogen. I don't know exactly about that. I don't put mine in the fridge. I just put it in a cabinet. But yeah, I don't think you're supposed to refrigerate it. Most of us will likely lose hormones. I would not say that that is. I don't know. I don't know about that. Like I know that there is some stuff with Planned Parenthood where like Planned Parenthood has lost some funding, and I don't know exactly how that's going to affect trans folk. Um, so just again, talk to your doctor. Um, oh yeah, Planned Parenthood is saying on their site that the bill may cause them to close a ton of locations. Yeah, so that could affect more than 150,000 trans people. Uh, an important thing from Thistle, also big thing to remember here, trans people have existed for a long time. We've been through worse. Look to your trans elders to help you plan your way through this. Yeah, like think about it. There are a lot of trans elders have been on HRT longer than HRT has been like a commonly prescribed medication. So like I'm not saying that that was like ideal or wonderful, but there are a lot of trans elders who lived in a time period where they were on DIY HRT without the supervision of a doctor. And again, that's not perfectly safe. And obviously the way it under supervision of a doctor is better and preferred, but just yeah. They closed the one I used to go to, and now I have to go to one an hour away. That's really sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Hashti. Um, hello, Freddy. Hey, Cal Fiore. Welcome. Yeah, he's over here being a cute boy. Being a cute boy. Some places want to block doctors from prescribing it at all. I'm looking at you, Texas. Yeah, like the statewide attacks are pretty powerful too. But I meant most of us may need to resort to DIY. No, I understand what you mean. I'm just saying that like I don't know exactly. We don't know exactly what the fallout from the bill is going to be. It's going to be bad. Like it's going to be bad. It's going to affect a lot of people. But I would like to say that like we need to, I don't know. I try not to talk about things in absolute like that. Like we don't know exactly what the fallout is going to be, and so I don't want people just like speaking in absolutes. Like we don't know exactly. The problem is not individual states. The problem is that when an insurance company is rectified in denying HRT claims in one state, they can deny them at all. Sure. I mean, yeah. But like I'm not like an insurance expert. I don't know how that works. Okay? As far as I'm aware, banning it in a state bans it in that state, and I don't know if it's not illegal in a different state. Like you would think that they would want the business. So I don't know. Okay, well I want to try to avoid the stress of all of this. I mean, I may be Canadian, but I've struggled here, and I can only imagine how things were used. Sorry, I'm gonna head out. Well, that really sucks that you feel like you're not allowed, like you can't hang out in my stream because we're talking about politics. So I'm sorry that I hope you have a good one, but it really kind of sucks that people don't want to support my content because they're not. Like if we want to fight back against what's going on, then why, like we need to support content creators and people who are bringing attention to this stuff. And if you're all just like, well, I'm upset, so I'm gonna leave, then my channel dies and I stop making content, and then we're in a weaker position. And that's why it makes me sad. So I can leave a tab open. I mean, you don't have to. It's fine. Do whatever you need to do. I care about all of your mental health, so I get it. I can only speak from personal experience, but last year I spoke to a representative and he said they had no plans to change HRT coverage. Okay. So what bill are we talking about? We're talking about the big beautiful bill. We're talking about the budget bill that just passed the House and then the Senate and then the House again. And it will cut like if you're on HRT, you will no longer be able to get HRT covered through Medicaid, and you are not going to they cut funding to Planned Parenthood, so that will affect obviously a very, very big source of HRT for a lot of trans people. So like they're directly attacking our access to life-saving medication. You okay, friend? What are you doing? Being a goober? Being a goober over there? Girls, we can get through this. Yeah, we can get through this. This is not the end of the world. And like, honestly, everyone who's here, who's paying attention, you're more likely to get through this. I don't want to say unscathed, but you're more likely to get through this without significant harm than people who are not paying attention. The people that are really at risk are the people who are not watching this stream. The people who are at risk are the ones who are like just I thought they took the ACA out of the bill. Was I misinformed? They're cutting like $800 billion from Medicaid. I know they took like one thing out of the bill, but I don't remember what that was, and it wasn't like a significant change to the bill. But yeah, like the real big concern, closer to $1 trillion. Yeah, well, 800 billion is decently close to $1 trillion. It's not $1 trillion, but you know, it's getting there. Anyway, right. So the issue is that a disproportionate number of trans people rely on Medicaid. Well, it's partially that, but it's also partially the Planned Parenthood thing. So it will affect a lot of people. But okay, so the point that I'm trying to make right here is that like people who are paying attention will backstock medicine. They'll find you know, DIY channels, and then when shit hits the fan, they will swap to DIY and they'll have backstocked medication. And hopefully a lot of people who are paying attention have been under the care of a doctor long enough that they know their blood levels, they know what dose works for them. Like let me be totally honest with all of you right now. If for some reason my insurance company stopped covering HRT and I had to go DIY, it would not be a big safety risk for me because I've been on injections for a long time and I know what my blood levels, like my dose is perfectly honed in. Like it's not too high, it's not too low, it's perfect. And I've been on it long enough and I've been doing injections for long enough that I should not really expect any issues. And so like I could go on DIY and I could read my own blood tests and I could understand that stuff well enough to know whether I'm good or not. And so like it would not be a big risk factor for me. Like the people that will suffer the most are people who are not paying attention. They have no idea what's going on. One day they lose access to HRT. They have none backstocked. They don't know where to get it. Or they've been under the care of a doctor they've been under the care of a doctor, but not for long enough to know exactly what dose is proper for them. And like an issue for trans people, like there's a lot of memes online, right? There's a lot of memes of trans girls being like, give me all the estrogen. I want all the estrogen. And like, if you go on Reddit, there are some people who advocate for you having extremely high levels of estrogen in your blood. Like they'll be like, oh, you shouldn't settle for anything less than like 400 or whatever. But like it, first of all, it's cyclical. So like your levels at the beginning of the week are different than your levels at the end of the week when you do your shot. But also, like as trans people, we're more likely to overdo it. Like we're more likely to be like, oh, bigger number is good, so I want bigger number. But like really what you need to understand about HRT is that like the goal is to have yourself in healthy blood level ranges without having excessive risk. So like the more estrogen in your system, the higher your chance of heart attack, or not heart attack and stroke, the higher your chances of like a blood clot, right? So if you want to mitigate the risk factor of a blood clot, then you want your estrogen to only be as high as it needs to be to have you in healthy ranges without having you in excessively high estrogen ranges. Does that understand? Does that understand? My God. Does that make sense? So essentially, you want to have your blood level dose, like you want to have your estrogen dose or testosterone dose tuned in to a kind of a like a perfect level where it's doing exactly what it needs to do, but it's not like so high that you're at risk for a blood clot. So basically I have 5 months to figure out how to do injections and blood work. I don't know where you're getting 5 months from. Like I don't know why you're saying 5 months. Like I don't know exactly when a lot of these things are going into effect. Like I don't know exactly when these provisions all go into effect. As far as I'm hearing, it's like late 2026 or some of the provisions go into effect in 2028, like near the end of Trump's presidency. All of that to try to like obfuscate how terrible a lot of this stuff is. Because if you kind of like, if you space out all the damage, then it kind of makes it harder for people to associate it with the bill that was just signed. We need to be aware of the political situation and prepare for the worst. Agreed. Yeah, be aware and be prepared. So it's Raven. Hey, Leah, Colorado has strong protections for trans people and its Medicaid. Also, the bill doesn't ban us from using it to access trans healthcare. The bill doesn't ban us from using it to access trans healthcare. What are you where are you seeing that? Because as far as I'm aware, the bill will boot like anyone that's getting HRT through Medicaid will not be getting that anymore. Okay, well, just saying nope is not a convincing argument. Like, do you have a source for that? Do you have like information from that? They build the meta ban for HRT via that. I don't. The format did not transfer from Discord very well. Can someone send me on Discord like a source for this? Because I heard that the parliamentarian pulled out some stuff. Too much estrogen can raise your prolactin, which can cause growth in your brain that will cause all sorts of problems. Yeah, you don't want like a shit ton of estrogen in your body. You want just enough. Yeah, I mean, someone send me a source because I did not hear about that amendment that apparently. Which tab? I mean, just DM it to me. just send me a message on Discord. Too much estrogen can also be turned into testosterone. I thought it was the other way around. I thought too much testosterone converts into DHT, which converts into estrogen, is what I thought that was. I was not aware that it goes the other way, or estrogen converts into testosterone. Well, aren't there still cuts for Planned Parenthood? Because if so, that still affects people on HRT. I have not gotten a single message yet. Oh wait, maybe I got one. Okay, thank you, Spencer. Let's see here. The original Senate version of the bill included those provisions, but they looked like they were going to make the bill harder to pass. Blah, 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 blah. Ruled last week that the anti-trans measures weren't budgetary in nature, therefore they were... I hate how flooded. So I want to say, I'm not embarrassed that I didn't know that, because like, I'm going to be totally real with all of you. We are living in an information hellscape right now, where like, there's so much happening that like, somehow I missed this. The Senate has just passed a version of the big break the tie. The version of the bill that passed does not include the anti-transgender healthcare provisions that were included in the House version of the bill, meaning that the bill may pass and allow that further protections. There's 50 votes in Republicans. Okay. Okay, so it was in the House bill, and then the parliamentarian said that they would require 60 votes to pass. Or the reconciliation. Okay, well, that's actually really good for us. But also, I mean, the bill still really sucks. But okay, so that definitely makes it a lot less super dystopian, but yeah. Thank you for the source. Yeah, so the check-ins and work requirements are still an issue, because there's a lot of people on Medicaid who are not going to be able to abide by those work requirements, and then they're going to get kicked off. Not because they're trans, but because they aren't able to wait, so if you take high enough amounts of testosterone, it can be turned into estrogen. Yeah, yeah, that's why like some bodybuilders get gynecomastia, because the testosterone starts converting to DHT, which starts converting to... They both convert? Oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. So yeah. So using Control plus F, trans doesn't appear in the context related to gender affirming care that I found, nor does the word hormone. Okay. Just so much, and you've been dealing with Ohio as well. Yeah, the Ohio situation kind of sucks. I'm going to make an update video about that. We were able to get a couple things, line item, like the governor did a line item veto on some of the stuff in the Ohio budget bill, but not other stuff. And so I'll make an update video about what's happening in Ohio. But that'll be like an entire video. So it does look like that was valid. I actually remember hearing. I forgot, no judgment there. So what the whole Medicaid thing is still valid. The info there is great. Judge temporarily blocked the amendment, so it would defund Medicaid. Version of the bill that passed includes things that are going to kick. Yeah. I just found out today that I'm losing my Medicaid on October 31st because I make too much. Now I have to get FFS and top surgery before October 31st. Oh my gosh, Jules. Well, I wish you the most luck ever getting all that done. That's really wild. Not true. You can get a doctor to say you can't work due to a disability. Right, but they're making it restrictive so that there will be some people who will get kicked off of I'm pretty sure the estimate I heard, and now I'm afraid to say things because I don't know if maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the estimate that I heard is that 5 million people are not going to be able to match or meet these new requirements, and they're going to get booted off of Medicaid because of it. Yes, Medicaid covers low-income people, and Medicare is for old people. Thanks for keeping us up to date on Marcy. You're welcome. Anyway. Okay, well that's yeah. There are still going to be people who lose their HRT. I still recommend backstocking medication. On a positive note, the last interesting part of my panel just came in. You're more than welcome to tell us about it. They won't get booted off, but they are expected to be lost to attrition because the paperwork will be so difficult to continue. Right, they're not going to get just immediately rejected, but the new requirements to get on the insurance is going to be harder for people to. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we could talk about something else now. If you guys want? I can't believe that I didn't see that story reported anywhere. I just missed it. That bill got shoved through so quickly. It's kind of wild, to be honest. I don't think most people. Oh, I see. Okay, so Vi, thank you for providing. Vi provided a link that has. Oh wait, what has all the stuff that was. Okay, hold on. Where is let me move this over. Oops. So this is the bird rule violations continuing to mount on the big beautiful bill. So this was right before it passed. The Senate parliamentarian again advised that several provisions would be subject to a 60 vote threshold if they remain in the bill. So I'm trying to see. So this is everything. Is this everything that was removed from the bill? Or is this everything that it says that the parliamentarian said that this would force it to a 60 vote threshold. But I don't know if that means that this stuff was by default. I saw Freddy. Glad I opened YouTube and saw you were online. Welcome back up. Gwen is about to have their court hearing for your name change. That's awesome. Oh, and you live in Texas. I wish you luck with that. I know for me, being in a red state and going through social transition has been kind of satisfying because it is a big process, but you know, going through it kind of makes you feel empowered. So I don't know if this stuff was for sure pulled under the. Oh, wait. So finance still under review. So I think all of this stuff under the finance section was for sure pulled from the bill. So you can see right here, it says prohibiting Medicaid and children's health insurance programs from funding gender affirming care. And then still under review, the funding Planned Parenthood was still under review. So I don't know if that was actually in the final language of the bill, to be honest. I thought it was, but this is making me doubt it. Okay. All right. Well, buh. Buh. Artificial deadlines for the budget bill. Lots of GOP don't even know what was in it. Yeah, no, it was forced through so quickly. Like you said, lots of info out there. There's no way we can know all the info at once. What I like about you is that you know that, and I think that's respectable. Well, thank you for saying that. It's embarrassing to say something and then be just completely wrong. Like that is embarrassing. So I appreciate you understanding. It's just, it is what it is. There's a lot going on. I'm not perfect. If I had like a 1 million subscriber channel, then I would probably have like research teams who would have all of this information ready for me. I got hit by a car last year and I've been having nightmares that I can't afford my copays. They suck. Aw. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing okay anyway. Like that sounds really scary. I've been in a couple really bad car accidents. They're really scary. By the way, totally random, but I just noticed your haircut looks good. Thank you, Wolf. Yeah, I got a haircut. The undercut grew out enough that I felt comfortable getting a haircut. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. Honestly, I was really scared because I loved my long hair, but it looked really weird because it was all uneven and stuff. And I honestly, I really like how this looks. Really like it. Let's make that the goal. 1 million subs for this channel. Yeah, let's do that right now. All of you right now, get me to 1 million subs. Honestly, I'm gonna need some like big controversy or like something is gonna have to happen for me to blow up like that. I'm gonna have to either go viral by saying something ridiculous, or someone's gonna have to make up some like horrible lie about me that's gonna spread like wildfire and bring a lot of attention to me. Or like if a big channel like attacked me or something, like that might work. Like if someone with a lot of subs attacked me, or even just like collaborated with me. Like if I could get a collaboration from someone who's got a lot more pull than me, that might help. Anyone know how to change your name on YouTube? People have done it. Like I've mentioned, some people have like had their dead name as their username and they change it pretty easily. I don't know how to do that. Try like right clicking on your like you have a profile basically. People are asking about Freddy. Let me I'll tell you about him in a second. Collab with OT. I don't know if One Topic does anything other than like meme videos. And I'm not gonna lie, I did like one meme video and it did terrible, and I've never done one since. So I don't know. Every video I've seen from One Topic is just like him reacting to the meme. Or you grind for a few years. I mean, I've been grinding for years. Like I had a YouTube channel before this YouTube channel that did terrible. And this is like, I guess, my second attempt. And it's going a lot better. For sure. It's in the settings of the profile. Thank you for helping. I think I found you from that exact video. Oh, from the meme video? Did you really, Heather? That's super funny. I changed my name through settings. Okay. Dead Domain collab. Didn't they start going by Vesper? Is what I heard, which is a really, I really like that name. But yeah, I mean, I'd be down for a bunch of collabs. Honestly, I've been meaning to reach out to a couple creators. Like I've been having issues with profitability. Like my ad revenue has been cut in under half, and I think it's important to like talk about that. Could the judicial branch immediately step in and reject this big beautiful bill that Trump signed into law illegally? Well, unfortunately, he did not do it illegally. The Republicans just all fell in line and signed it. So it really wasn't a matter of like what he did with that big beautiful bill is kind of legal. Like that's just how government works, but just in a really shitty way. I'm in the top 7.4% of all YouTube channels. Wait, Quinn, is that real? How do you get that metric? Because that is a crazy number to consider. Like I actually did not know that. Like I would not have guessed that. If you had asked me to guess like what percentile I was in, I would have probably said like top 30 or 40% maybe. Ever thought about doing videos on your unicycle? I would love to do videos on my unicycle, but first of all, I don't think that they would do well. It would have to be like a second channel kind of thing. And also that would require me posting content of me doing stuff where I live. And I've been very, very careful not to post content of like discernible landmarks or whatever. Like I don't post pictures that have like discernible landmarks. Like I have not shared what city I live in. All of that to protect my privacy because I am kind of scared of getting doxxed or swatted, which is a big concern for trans folk. So yeah. Yes, of video posting channels. Wow. Kind of wild. Did I do a video on alligator Alcatraz in Florida? No, I have not made a video about it, but I have heard about it. Trump admins said to feed 65 million people to alligators. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to get away with feeding 65 million people to alligators. I'm sure that's going to happen and will certainly they'll meet no resistance. That was sarcasm. But yeah, I mean Trump is absolutely bonkers. He's absolutely bonkers. So no, the way laws get challenged judicially is that there has to be a live controversy, such as a law you're accused of breaking or a lawsuit you're bringing a challenge to speak about. Yeah. Yeah. 16K ain't too shabby. You know, I am proud of the progress that I've made. I'm just frustrated because like I so desperately want to go full time, and like it's clear to me that if my revenue is going to stay cut the way that it has been, then I'm going to need to have a lot more sub than I originally thought to go full time. And that's kind of a depressing thought because it's hard working a full time job and doing this. Like it's quite difficult. Has anything ever happened in real life to a trans person with an online following because a follower doxed them? Yes. Yes. And it's not even usually a follower that doxes the person. Like there are hate groups. Like I don't know if you've ever heard of Kiwi Farms, but it's a hate group, like a hate forum. And they've doxed and swatted trans people before. So and like there are many instances of people being doxed and then harassed or swatted. So I just like, trying to be very conscious about that. Quinn said I had someone arrested off of my porch a month ago, and because they figured out where you live. Yeah. There are hate raids on trans streams. Yeah, I've had that happen before. Like especially on somewhere like TikTok, you get like these hate raids where a bunch of transphobes like get access to your information, like they get your stream information posted somewhere, and then they follow through and they flood your stream all at once and say a bunch of hateful stuff. Now that I'm less active on TikTok, I get less of it, but I still have trolls. Ugh. Yeah, Quinn, I would be curious to know where you got that number though, by the way, from the percentile of YouTuber stuff and thing. I would be really curious to know where you get that. It's absolutely wild what some people can do with such little information. Yeah. This is a half gallon. You must think I'm really tiny. You must think I'm a very tiny girl, but it's a half gallon. Or maybe you think I'm massive. Maybe you think I'm huge. Because if I could hold a 2-gallon bottle like this, I would have to be like 7 feet tall or 8 feet tall or something. This is a half of a gallon. And it is my beloved Stanley. I take it with me everywhere. Anyway, um, does chat want to? Such a cute bottle. Thank you. Um, does anyone want to talk about more politics, or does anyone want to do a different thing? Talk about something else, maybe. I mean, the world is our oyster, for real. Let's feed you know who to the alligators instead, for real. Oh, you'd like to hear about Freddy? Okay, yeah, I forgot to talk about Freddy again. So here's Freddy. He's napping. He's being a good boy. He's napping right now. Look how cute he is. Oh, he's so cute. He's on this one brand of food that is a very, very healthy brand, and he was on the chicken and rice. And then I swapped him to whitefin and duck because I thought that maybe he was having issues with chicken or something. And it was the opposite thing. He was actually doing very well on the chicken and rice compared to the other food. So I swapped him back to chicken and rice. And he's been doing better on that. I think that the chicken and rice is better for his tummy. He's also on a pretty powerful probiotic prebiotic blend. And that has been helping as well. He's still having accidents, but um he's having like, oh gosh, I've got Freddy fur everywhere. He's having less accidents and they're less frequent and they're smaller. So we're making progress. I talked about it earlier, but I think Freddy has IBS. And so I'm pretty sure I need to get him on some sort of medication that will help with the IBS. Like, um, I don't know. I don't know what kind of medicine, but I've had people recommend prednisone. Uh, did I have a good 4th of July? Not really. I kind of hate this country, honestly. America kind of sucks big donks right now. So I don't particularly, I haven't really been in a very patriotic mood for a while now. I didn't look up Leah specifically, but I social bladed another channel within a couple hundred subs, close enough. What's Social Blade? Is that like a website or something? Poor little bean. Yeah, he is a poor little bean, but he's getting better. Getting better. I ate Popeyes for the first time on the 4th of July, and then the next 2 days I threw up. Oh no. I don't think I've ever had Popeyes either, and that sounds like a horrific experience. It makes me not want to try it. GF and I got drinks and just watched Murder Drones and to avoid thinking about America. Yeah, I worked on the 4th, so I was just at work or whatever. Keep in mind that so many people start this and don't keep doing it, like Leah has. Time and persistence right now wins this game. That is very true. I will say that there are a lot of channels who don't stick around. I can even use my own channel um as an example, because I was making content for months prior to the election. I think I started making videos on this channel like a month or so before Biden dropped out of the race. So like I was making content for at least 3 or 4 months before the election, and up until the election I had like 150 subs or something. Like I had like maybe 200 300 subs, and then when the election happened I had a video kind of blow up, and that video brought in a wave of people that helped push my channel kind of to where it is today. But if I had given up, like if I had gotten 3 months in and I had been like, screw this, like this is not worth my time, then I never would have made it to that point. So I really think that the thing that my channel is missing more than anything is just more viral content. Like I'm not very good at being super clickbaity, and I'm not good at um like the attention economy stuff is really hard. So I need to figure out ways to bring more attention to my channel in a viral sort of way. So I've been thinking about doing short content, but it's hard. It's just hard to I don't have a lot of time. I'd go to Popeyes for the biscuits. Can't really eat much else they do. Also, hi from Ohio. Hello from Ohio, back at you. Red, thank you so much for the $2. Don't give up, stay strong, stay focused. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm trying. I'm trying. It's hard. It's a hard time right now, but it's okay. We'll get through it. I'm not gonna give up. You are a kind and steady voice in a time of fear and confusion. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try to be. I'm like, I've talked about the Enneagram before, but I'm a type 8 on the Enneagram. And the social role of a type 8 is to be the rock. Like my natural social position is to be like a grounding force for people. And so that's kind of what I naturally do when I'm with or around people, is I tend to be a force of calm and grounding. I've like, honestly, this is, and I'm not saying this to like brag or anything. Like, I've had people my entire life tell me that like talking to me, interacting with me, and being around me is extremely soothing, or like they felt comfortable around me, they felt safe around me, and they felt like they could express themselves without fear around me. So I mean, it's just something I'm naturally good at. I'm not necessarily good at like other things though. Like, I don't know. Like being over the top and viral or whatever. Like, yes, I'm a very soothing and kind and comforting voice sometimes, but that also makes it really hard for me to be like on the internet. There's kind of like the attention economy kind of favors people who are like loud or in your face or shocking or controversial or whatever. And I'm not really those things. So yeah. I was gonna ask, is your shirt a sacred geometry symbol? No, this is a Full Metal Alchemist shirt. You can, ow, hold on. You see him? You got the snake on the cross and the thing that's from Ed's jacket, and this is part of, yeah, Full Metal. Calming ASMR but politics. Yeah, kind of a weird combo, really. Did I go to Pride? Yes, I did. Do you work out, or have you ever worked out? I have been trying to work out. I'm very active. Like I'm a very active person, but I don't like weightlift or anything. I heard trans people should work out to keep your muscles from completely disappearing. I mean, my muscles completely disappeared. Like, I did not work out at all the first, I don't know, like I was not very active before transition because I was so depressed. I just didn't want to do anything. And so like for a couple years leading up to transition, I actually stopped doing a lot of the things that I enjoy. Like I like riding my electric unicycle. I like doing the flow arts and the fire spinning stuff that I do. I like camping. I like doing all that stuff. And that kind of leads me toward a very active lifestyle. And I had sort of just stopped doing a lot of that stuff leading up to transition because I was so depressed. I had no will to like do anything. Like I just did not feel good doing anything. I just hated my life basically. And so now that I'm sort of doing transition stuffs and I feel more comfortable in my skin and I'm happier, I've definitely been getting more active again, which has been really good. But I'm for sure weaker. And like, if you're on estrogen and you used to be predominantly a testosterone based individual, you're going to notice a difference. Like, you're going to get weaker. Like, that's going to happen. It's just like testosterone is the make you strong hormone. Like, if you have a lot less of it, you're just not going to be as strong. Like, that's just a reality. And you can build up the muscle, like you can build back strength, but testosterone gives you a sort of like a strength you don't have to try. Like, I never used to have, like, I could lift over 100 pounds before transition, and that's without working out, and that's without like caring. Like, I was just stronger. But now, I do not think I could lift up 100 pounds. Like, 100 pounds is a lot. Like, it's hard to lift 50 or 60 pounds, let alone 100 pounds. So, you turned 27 last month. Happy late birthday, Raven. Um, so glad you're not loud, Leah. It's your voice, not AI. So done with robo narration. Stinky boy seeks attention from mother. Also, yeah, I was jacked before testosterone. Now I built a back after transit. I built a bit back after detransitioning. I have noticed a difference in the last 2+ years. It's weird how much more you actually care about yourself once you start being who you are. I also wore black in appearance and emotionally. I always wore black in appearance and emotionally. I keep getting told I have so much more confidence and I'm in my element. Well, that's cool. I agree. Greetings from occupied Hungary. Welcome. Sorry you're dealing with your leader. He's awful. Um, so let's see here. I'm 1 year and 2 months on E and I feel weaker, but not by that much since my job makes me move stuff a lot. You lifted your partner who's over 200 pounds or who was 200 pounds. Wow, that's impressive. I mean, yeah, everyone's going to be different. If you already work out and are super active, you'll probably notice less of a difference. But you definitely will notice a difference. June 4th was your birthday? Oh, okay. So like, yeah, about a month ago. I kept eating biscuits and gravy, so I kept all my muscles. JK, it's gone. That's funny. Uh, so okay, this is a really good comment. Valerie says, "So I'm pretty young and I haven't actually socially transitioned outside of like online and trusted people in real life. Should I wait until Trump is out of office to start E and be more open about it?" No. No. Well, I mean, it depends. Okay. First of all, it depends on your situation. Like, I don't know in depth what you're going through, and I don't know whether it's a safe if it's safe for you. Like, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your family's like. I don't know what your situation is like. For all I know, coming out for you could mean losing safe housing. So, but that being said, if it's not going to cause significant harm to you, don't wait. Like, it's not like part of what they want is to scare us so badly that we stop being open and we stop coming out, and like they want to try to stop people from coming out of the closet. They want to try to stop people from living their life. Another really good point made by someone in the chat is that E takes a while to kick in and do the effects. So like it's hormone therapy is not going to be noticeable for the first like 6 months, even up to a year. Like it's going to take a while for you to notice really dramatic differences, and you're honestly going to be able to boy mode for quite a while after beginning transition. And what's going to really help you with passing will be socially transitioning on top of your medical transition. Like when I started noticing a big difference was when I started doing makeup and changing the way I dress and stuff like that. Like if I don't have my makeup on and I'm not trying or whatever, I still feel like I look boyish. But that being said, you could start estrogen and you'll have 6 months to a year to come out to people and begin your social transition before like it starts to become so noticeable that, and now this is different for everybody because some people grow. Look at look at him. He's just he's just like he's just on my hand, just like headbutting my hand. He's so cute. He's just literally like so funny. Trying to boy mode until I boy fail. I don't know. I honestly like I don't really I think you should stop boy moding when you genuinely can't stand being seen as a boy. You know what I mean? Like for me, I was boy moding and then I reached a point where I literally could not handle being misgendered anymore. Like it was just really, 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 really affecting my mental health. And so I was like, okay, I need to start social transition. I need to do this because it's important for me to not be seen as a boy anymore. So again, I don't know your situation, but like part of what the Republicans want is to scare people back in the closet. And so you'd be giving them what they want. A lot of women don't use a lot of makeup. Okay, I don't use a lot of makeup. Like all I use is like concealer, mascara, and a little bit of eyeliner on my waterline. I'm not sure exactly what point you're trying to make, Raven. I'm at D cups and I just look like a sack of potatoes. Rocket. Um, well, I mean, you're probably gonna look how you feel. If you don't feel good about yourself, you're probably not going to like, you're gonna look like that. I'm very big on like you look how you feel. So like I don't know, everyone has I honestly, like, I know everyone talks about beauty standards and like, oh, if I was just skinnier, oh, if I just had whatever, I would be so much more attractive, but like you got to work with what you got. You know what I mean? Like people who are really attractive in my opinion are people who own who they are and they work with who they are to come up with a style or whatever that they really like, they really like vibe with, and then you feel confident and you feel good and then you look good. Like I see a lot of people, especially in the trans community, who are like don't follow traditional beauty standards but are still like gorgeous or handsome, whatever applies, like especially non-binary people. There are a lot of non-binary people who are extremely gender non-conforming and do not follow Eurocentric beauty standards, and they slay. Like they slay. So look how you feel is so true. Find out what works for you and keep configuring and testing. Yeah, it takes time. No one like tries once and just immediately passes and feels amazing. Like I remember the first time I put on a dress, I felt horrible. I like was disgusted with myself and I had to take it off. Honestly, what works for me is like more of like a lesbian look. Like I wear a lot of cargo pants. God, I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, like I often look like quite a lesbian because I feel like it matches my aesthetic more. I don't think I look good when I'm trying to be like super girly. Like I don't think I look good in a skirt and thigh high stockings, and like I honestly, like I haven't tried a really girly look in a long time because it just does not, I don't feel good in it. Like I don't feel good when I'm trying to wear a dress most of the time. And part of that might just be honestly the fact that I don't have a lot of friends who are like girls who like help me with styling. Like I don't really have friends. So um yeah, everything I learn about styling and about makeup, I just kind of do on my own. As long as you can take care of hygiene and grooming and find a hairstyle that works for you, you're doing great. Don't sweat it. Yeah, I agree with that, honestly. Grooming is a big part of it. Like a lot of trans girlies don't necessarily think about this, but like there is a difference in grooming when you're raised AMAB versus raised AFAB. Like a lot of girls like they like pluck their eyebrows. They like they do certain things with their grooming that makes kind of a significant difference. Like you might not think about it, but it does. So lesbians are attractive too. LOL. I think it's like you said, confidence in owning who you are. Yeah, for sure. Some trans people don't have the money to afford good makeup, unfortunately, and some have struggles doing their own makeup. Leah, I don't know how to do my own makeup. Yeah, well, I mean, it does cost money. There are cheaper options, but it does cost money, and yeah, it's hard to learn how to do it. I recommend looking up some tutorials online and then just experiment, like try to figure out what works for you. And you're not going to figure it out immediately, but yeah. Chastity is allergic to most makeup. That sucks. I hope that but that probably has led you to find stuff that is like really, because like if you're allergic to stuff, you're probably allergic to a lot of the garbage that's in makeup. So hopefully that has led you to like quality products that are like genuinely not harmful, because there some cheap makeup brands are really bad for your skin. but just like some people tolerate that stuff better. I think Carmel, I think Raven is in the Discord, Gareth. At least she has been in the past. And then I think yeah. So having plenty of cis women in your life is critical. I don't know if I would call it critical, but it's definitely helpful. Like having people who were raised AFAB to like help you through some of the awkward stages of like makeup and styling and stuff. I do think that that's really helpful. And like seriously, if you have like girlfriends that can do like sleepovers and whatever, then yeah. But yeah, I yeah. I do not have a lot of friends, I'll be honest. Mostly because I don't um I don't have a lot of time. And also I live in a city that I was not raised in. And I don't drink, so I don't go out to bars. I don't do a lot of stuff like that, so I just don't make a lot of friends naturally. I'm also very awkward and shy. I'm making excuses. Like I could make more friends. And I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. Like I'm going to try to start going out with some people, like a certain friend group around here. I've been going to festivals this past year to try to like make friends and meet new people. Like the Flow Arts festivals have been really helpful. I just, it's just a process, but hey Grace, welcome. Heather says I haven't worn makeup in like 10 years. I don't get clocked. I also look like a sack of potatoes. So like a lot is just owning who you are and just being yourself. True. So true. So true. Like even when I feel really clockable when I'm not wearing makeup or very much makeup, I don't really get clocked anymore. I'm very fortunate for my partner's cis girlfriends who indoctrinated me when I came out. That's very awesome. I'm happy for you. Let me actually grab real quick because it was mentioned and I forgot about it. Okay, so here is my link tree that I'm gonna spam into chat. And the link tree has like my Patreon, it has all of my socials, but it also has my Discord server. If you want to join a friendly, supportive community, that's it right there. We've got a great community. We've got a lot of people who care a lot, and they spend a lot of time making sure it's a great place to be, and people, yeah. So anyway, I really hope that you all join if you're looking for support, if you feel like you need to make some friends, if you want to try to find people in your area. It's a super fun, safe space for sure. For sure. It's a great place. I'm really proud of the server. Good night, Raven. I've been bopping around and listening to while doing some things. I tend to have trouble making friends because I'm political. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you gotta save that stuff for like politics is definitely something you don't want to talk about like when you barely know someone. You want to kind of get a feel for someone before you jump into that kind of stuff. I think it comes off to people as like being a little improper to talk too much about politics before you like know someone very well. Hi there, Sky. Welcome. Do you have a therapist? Not a loaded question. I think everything is downstream of the self, and I'm a huge advocate of introspection. Defining what works for you can follow organically. I agree with the sentiment entirely. Oh, and Evelyn liked the stream. Thank you. Can anyone else like the stream? Can you all like the stream? That would be awesome. I would appreciate that very much. If everyone liked the stream, would help me out a bunch. So I do very much believe that everything emanates from the core of the self, and that essentially what you're doing with introspection is, as Shrek so wisely put it, you're peeling back the layers of the onion, right? Like we're like onions. And so like your very outer exterior is like it's just a reflection of your inner self on a more I don't know how to say it, like on a more shallow level, on a I don't know how to just I don't know how to say it. Essentially, when you introspect, you're peeling back the layers, and when you work at the stuff at the core of your being, that allows you to fix things that are secondary, tertiary, or whatever. Like at a more exterior level, you're able to see big changes in yourself by working on the core of yourself. So like you got to find the root of what's going on with yourself before you're able to really fix a lot of like exterior um issues. Another Evelyn. Yeah, there's Evelyn M right up there. But good to know that your name is also Evelyn. Try to remember that. Skylar liked the stream. Would you recommend that trans people look into self-defense methods? Yes, I've recommended that in quite a few um, of my videos. Um, you should try to stay in shape to the best of your ability. I understand some people have disabilities that they're dealing with, but like self-defense is important, even if it's just mace, even if that just means owning some mace. Having something to keep yourself safe, very important. Very important. So yes, you should definitely look into self-defense. You should definitely know how to uh get out of a dangerous situation. Like you don't need to hurt someone in a dangerous situation. You just need to find a way to get out of that dangerous situation. The best defense is a sense of when to leave a bad situation. Yes, yes. Yeah, that's pretty much what I say. Um I refuse to talk. I used to refuse to talk to anyone about politics or religion without having a deep friendship with them, but now I feel like it's necessary to clear the air on a couple things when I meet new people. Yeah, well, like you should like you need to be able to gauge whether people are friendly or not without like purity testing, right? Like you don't need like if you're at a bar and you're talking to some stranger and you want to be friends with them, you're not going to go, "Okay, but where do you stand on this?" You know? Because that's very off-putting and kind of rude and weird. But like if you just start talking about something related to that issue, you can get a gauge, you can gauge how people feel about it. Like you could say like I don't know, you could bring up something in current events about trans people, like there's a story about someone or whatever, and you could say, oh, did you hear about this? And if someone's like, oh yeah, that freaking uh mentally ill, you know what I mean, like you can gauge someone's response and find their position based on their response. So you don't need to like purity test people, but that will give you a good idea of like whether you should view this as a safe person or someone you want to be friends with. So like you don't need to, you don't need to like have a questionnaire ready for someone, but it's definitely important to like bring up things of a political nature just to see how someone responds to it. If that makes sense. Hello, Crazy Wolf. Most Trump heads will straight off let you know what they think. Yeah, like if you bring up trans people in any context whatsoever and they get really weird about it, then like, like MAGA people will just be very straight up about that stuff. Inner child therapy really helped me crack my egg 2 months ago. That's beautiful. You know what's really interesting though is that like I did a lot of inner work before starting transition, and kind of the interesting thing about it is that my egg never cracked, but I worked on like a lot of things about myself. Um but I was still miserable with myself. So like I went on this long self-improvement journey, long introspective journey, long self-work journey, and I still hated myself at the end of it. And the only thing that helped me was transitioning. Now, of course, the other stuff helped me as well. Like I had anger problems, I had problems with empathy, I had all sorts of problems that I worked on. And I definitely feel like I improved myself from working on those issues. But it wasn't until I started transition that the self-hatred um stopped. Like once I started transitioning, it's like, wow, I no longer despise every fiber of my being. Isn't that incredible? Um, but yeah, it kind of goes to show how little cultural knowledge there is inherent about trans people. Because like I was doing all this self work and I did not, like, there were some very important aspects of myself that I was struggling with. Like I was struggling in relationships, I was struggling with sexual relationships, I was struggling with a lot of stuff. And it was like I just never had the tools to understand that that was all gender related. Like I did not have the language necessary to understand that I was experiencing gender envy, for instance. So like I thought I was super attracted to feminine individuals, whether like, you know, like a feminine guy or a feminine girl. Like I thought I was just attracted to femininity, but really that was all gender envy. Like I was just envious of feminine individuals because that's how I wanted to present. It wasn't really attraction, it was envy. But like I didn't really understand that because I didn't have the language, because you know our culture doesn't educate on that kind of stuff. Skylar is going to get energy drinks. Enjoy your energy drink journey. Bring up mycology. That's an awesome litmus test. Mostly kidding, but the real ones always find mushrooms cool. That's funny. That's very funny. Estrogen has been the best antidepressant I've ever tried. I agree with that 100%, and it was very, very quick for me. Like the mental health benefits of taking estrogen happened way faster than the physical changes. Like I noticed a big difference mentally extremely quickly on HRT. I did analysis for several years and it was great, but I never addressed what realizing I was trans and HRT did in a few months. Yeah, exactly. I spent years introspecting and going on this self journey and all this stuff. And like the final, I feel like really the final step was accepting that I was trans and going on that journey. And ever since then, I've felt like so whole that it's yeah. To be honest, when it comes to befriending new people, I feel like no matter what another person's political or religious beliefs are, people should respect another sense of self and their own views. Yeah, I mean, like I didn't say anything about like attacking people. Like if you're at a bar and you're talking with someone and you say something that elicits a response that, you know, outs someone as being like a MAGA uh right winger, I'm not the kind of person, I don't advocate for people to go like, "Oh, you should shame them and get really mad and like cause a scene." Like, no, you should just recognize that that person is not safe to interact with. They're not like the kind of person you want in your life, and you should just exit the situation. Like you should just be like, "Oh," and then, you know, find someone else to talk to or go to a different bar or whatever. Like I don't think that it's socially appropriate to like freak out on someone just because they said something, because you're not going to change their mind. You're not going to do anything positive in that moment by confronting them on some shitty opinion that they have. So you might as well just like do what's good for you and just leave that situation. Besides, like if someone's like MAGA, like they're not worth your energy. Like it's not worth your time or energy to sit there and like try to reconcile differences or try to shame them or whatever. I felt the same before transitioning. Unfortunately, I postponed. I should have done earlier. Yeah, I mean, I didn't start transitioning until I was 29 years old. So I also feel like I spent a lot of time I was referring to everyone, not what you mentioned. Sorry if that came out wrong. What I meant is to believe in yourself and believe what you want and don't let anyone else put you down. Uh, okay. That's not how I read it, but I understand what you mean. You can block people IRL. Yeah, for real. Happiness is the best revenge. Yeah, just like live your best life. Trans joy is resistant. So, hey, I was 29 too. Oh, nice. Um, Chastity was 40, Quinn was 33. Yeah, like everyone starts at a different time, you know. And like it's not anyone's fault. Like if you started later in life, it's just because, you know, like our society sucks at letting trans people realize that they were trans or are trans rather. Alone in WPG is 38 or was 38. Yeah. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's never too late to start transitioning. I used to get really mad on Reddit. If you look at Reddit, there's a lot of like 19-year-old closeted trans girls who are like, I'm never going to be able to look how I want because I'm not going to be able to start until I'm 20. Like it's so too late. It's so too late. And that stuff used to make me so mad. Like it's not too late. Like it's really never too late. And I wish as a community, people were able to internalize that better, because sometimes it's really really painful for like people who started when they're older. It's really painful for like a 20-year-old to be like, oh, it's too late, oh no. It's like I started 10 years after that, so some people started, you know, 20 years after that, so you know. um I had a a triple D E cup pre-transition. The first time I saw my chest flat, I cried. The euphoria is real. Aw, I'm really glad to hear that, Spencer. That's cool. I was 19, but my endo gate kept E from me for 2 years, so I didn't medically start until 21. Yeah, but that's still like so young, really. Like if you think about it. When I was earlier in my transition, my goal was to pass as much as possible, but over time I've come to cherish the mask features of myself to think that they look pretty with my body. Yeah, you know what? Oh my gosh. Uh we're not gonna talk about that. I don't know what to call you, 00 or whatever. We're not. That is definitely too explicit for this channel. There are definitely minors who are watching this channel, and we are not gonna talk about that. Um, First came out at 10 and was promptly shown in the closet. That was 98. Started HRT in 22. Yeah, like I I had an identity crisis when I was 20, and I didn't realize I was trans until 29. So it took me like 9 years. Like I don't know. I felt like something was deeply wrong with myself for a long time, but it just repression is weird. It's really hard to describe, but like when you're deeply repressed, you know something is horribly wrong with you, and you might even know kind of like what it might be about, but you're so repressed that you just don't recognize it. Like it's really hard to describe. Like I have memories of when I was younger. Like I remember one time when I was really young, I like shaved my entire body. I like started growing body hair obviously throughout puberty, and it disgusted me. Like I hated my body hair so much. And so I like shaved everything. And I was like, eventually I just got too sick of doing it. Like this is too much work. Like kind of sucks, but it's too much work. And I gave up. But like that was definitely a sign to me that I did not want to look like that. There were also, I mean, like I have tons of memories now that I look back where I'm like, how the hell did I not realize? Like, how the hell did I not realize what was going on there for a long time? Like, I remember being on Tumblr when I was younger and seeing some like trans people on Tumblr and being like insanely jealous, but also like not recognizing that that meant that I probably wanted to have the experience that they were having. So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Um I worked with a trans woman who was pre-transition. She was a vet. I had a full beard and came out to me. She said, "Look at me. I'll never be feminine." It broke my heart. I just reminded her that she has the power to define what being feminine means to her. It's not about being what other people want you to be. It's about being comfortable with yourself. Oh, Spencer, that's incredible. That's such incredible support and advice that you gave right there. That's great. She's been doing great ever since and has a job she loves and everything. I'm so proud to know her. She's come so far. Oh, oh, that makes my heart so happy. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know trans existed until my early 40s and didn't transition until 44 years old. Yeah, like that. That's, that's not uncommon. That's like decently common. When I came out to friends at a music festival, I was drugged and oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have even read that out loud, Grace. It's a little bit personal. Um, I'm really sorry that happened to you. Um, I just don't feel comfortable talking about that. That's an extremely private event. I'm not sure I feel comfortable talking about that in this setting. I know that millions will lose healthcare, which is horrible. Yeah, we have to see what I don't. People have me doubting what's going on with this bill because we learned that some things were taken out of the bill by the parliamentarian by the parliamentarian earlier, but I don't know exactly what all was kept in the bill. I'm pretty sure the cuts to the tune of $800 billion are still in the bill. Uh, oh, hey Geraldine, I didn't know that you were watching my stream, but welcome. Got the DMs from you. I'll respond after the stream probably. Uh, and I got a message from Thistle telling me not to guilt trip my audience. I'm not trying to guilt trip my audience. Just to make that clear. Earlier, I mentioned that it's a bit frustrating because I get comments all the time from people who are like, "I want to support your channel, but um, I can't watch politics right now. It's like too difficult for me." So, I love you, but sorry, I'm not going to support your stuff because I can't or whatever. And I sort of got frustrated earlier on stream. I'm not trying to guilt trip my audience, just to be super clear. It's just that it's frustrating to be doing something for the community and to be trying to inform and educate and be like I try my best to make my content um like absorbable. Like I try not to make my content doom spirally and overly doomerism and like I try to keep like a pretty positive tone throughout my content, but I still get a lot of comments of people who are like, I want to support your content, but watching your content makes me hate life and everything. So I'm not gonna support your content. And so I just got a little frustrated on stream. I would hope that my audience would understand that I'm a human and that like I'm not always going to react in the perfect way possible. I'm also like very authentic when I stream. And so like I don't anyway. Let me respond to it. Okay, anyway, oh, let me catch up on chat a little bit. Sorry about that. I had to respond to that message because I felt like Ari said good morning. Good morning. We often didn't have the language to understand as eggs, especially when I was a kid in the 90s and aughts when there were no representation. Yeah, the only representation I had when I was growing up was like Dr. Phil or whatever, Jerry Springer or Tumblr or whatever. Gotta remember being like 12 and thinking, oh man, I wish I was non-binary. I'd be so happy not being a girl. Yeah, and they happen over 10 years, so people are going to start getting kicked off right before the next election. Uh, did they not kill the provision to stop gender affirming care for adults? That provision did get killed. We did see that. Chastity said, I love the streams, but I gotta get up in 6 hours for work. Oh yeah, no, of course. Get your rest. Get your rest. It's a late stream tonight. Like I honestly wish I was able to start sooner, but unfortunately I had a late start to my day, so I had a late start to my stream. Life events made pre-E super extremely painful for me. It's extremely important to maintain access so life feels like living, not something beyond worse depression. Yeah. Don't come to the UK. It's getting the same here too. I've heard all of the stuff in the UK is really bad. I decided in April 2025 to transition and I am 57, but apparently I will not be able to do the transition because hormones are not vegan and I am vegan. However, oh really? Yeah, I assume that they're not vegan, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, do whatever works for you, for real. Whatever works for you, even if that's just social transition. I wish I could siphon the estrogen out of my body and send it to someone who needs it. You're so awesome. I mostly watch you to see you excited about things. Talk about whatever you like. I appreciate your passion for the community. Thank you, Holly. That's really, really nice of you. Canada is okay. Difficult to get care, but people in politics are better. How's the weather in Ohio? It's been really, really hot, but it's getting better. The past couple weeks have been really hot. It's really, 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 really hard to, like, honestly, the extreme heat is just so bad. Remember, you're a great girl fighting for trans rights. I have a lot of trans fans online. Streamers don't get to be human. They have to be perfect in every way for their audience or they leave in disgrace. Yeah, I'm terrified of immigrating, but I also don't want to stay here. Uh, immigrating to a different country is really hard. Really hard. Have you ever heard of the virtual game Second Life? Oh, you mean that game that I was super addicted to when I was like 12 years old? Yeah. I have heard about Second Life. I played it for a really long time. Veganism is a best effort lifestyle because nothing is vegan if you look close enough. Do your best and do your best for yourself. You're already way ahead of most people as stopping cruelty. Yeah, like honestly, what I was gonna say in response is like I feel like that shouldn't stop you from taking HRT. I don't know exactly how it's made. I don't know what is involved there, but if I were vegan, I would still do HRT and I would just like, you know, stick with the diet, vegan diet. But I get it. Like yeah, I'm not going to shame anyone for the way that they want to approach their transition or whatever. And I was not advocating for Second Life right there, by the way. I was not advocating for it. It was just something that I got super addicted to when I was 12 years old for a long time. What good is that Chuck Schumer got the trans? I don't think Chuck Schumer got that removed from the bill. I don't think that was because of Chuck Schumer. I'm pretty sure that was the Senate parliamentariat, and that had nothing to do with Chuck Schumer. The only thing Chuck Schumer has done was force them to procedurally change the title of the bill back to like HB whatever or whatever it is. Yeah, he got the name changed like procedurally, which doesn't matter because they're still calling it the big beautiful bill. Like Chuck Schumer is the most like useless slug that has ever existed. Gwen said, I put the link in there. That way anyone can check it out if they choose to. The link to what, Gwen? Because usually it doesn't allow people to post links in chat. I think I'm the only one who can. You're performing a form of journalism, which often is a thankless service. You're doing a great job, though. Everyone here appreciates you. Thank you, Quinn. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. It's been interesting to see how many people have checked out temporarily or not. I can understand it from an emotional standpoint to me, but it feels almost irresponsible. I sort of agree with you. Like, I understand. I totally understand that you have to. Oh, Chastity says, I'm going to say before I go, the anime that helped me was Ramna One Half, the old, not the remake. Yeah, I read some of that manga when I was younger, and that was definitely, that should have been like the amount of jealousy that I had towards that character should have been a yeah, should have been a big sign for me. It's been interesting to see how many people have been checked out or whatever. Back to that. I do feel like it's important to stay engaged because there's a lot happening and we don't know, you don't know necessarily what direction that's going to go in. Ow. I just bonked my head on my microphone because I'm trying to adjust this blanket so that it's more comfortable. But yeah, like, and I'm not just saying that because I cover the news. Like, I think that it's genuinely important to stay engaged and stay informed. We just live in a time where things are pretty whack, and it's important to stay engaged. That being said, I understand that it sucks. It's unfortunate, but pre-Stonewall riot, I'm sure that it also sucked to be engaged with an understanding of how hateful the laws were and stuff. Like I don't know. It's not easy to be trans, and I don't think that disconnecting from the news cycle really makes it all that much more bearable. It just makes you more ignorant, and I don't know. But sometimes people do need a break. Like sometimes you do have to take a little bit of a break, or just restrict how much you're engaging with it. Like if you have something like ground news and you're getting the news sent to you and you're following Aaron in the morning, then maybe you don't need to watch 7 different political YouTubers cover the same depressing story over and over. Like that, I totally understand. Like, yeah, no, you don't need to have a media diet that consists of engaging only with people who are depressing you. Like I get that, but it's definitely important to stay informed, especially right now. Rain says I like playing Second Life and making AVI so nice, so realistic with technology now. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying that Second Life sucks or whatever. I'm just saying that, like, it's kind of like I don't know. I think that the way that they named it, Second Life, kind of is indicative of what they expect you to do with the game, and I think that that might be kind of an unhealthy expectation. Like when I played Second Life, it was kind of like my Second Life, and that was not necessarily good for me being terminally online when I was younger. Um, I had the same thing for Rimuru when he got his human form and did the female thing. I was so confused as to why he wouldn't want to live as the female form because I thought everyone would want to, that's what everyone would want. Yeah, that's how I felt when I was younger. That's so funny. It's important to find balance with being informed and not spiraling with bad media. Yeah. Being trans and informed is too important. Sucks to always need to be ready to argue for my existence in spaces I never thought I would have to. True. I bet if Third Life came out during COVID, it would have been a bigger hit and closer to their goal. True. Spencer says, my mom always says, politics makes you so upset you can't pay so much attention to it. And I'm just like, my existence is politics. Yeah, like it's important. Like I mentioned earlier, they tried to cut off HRT access for trans adults in Ohio a couple years ago. And like it was important to pay attention to that. Like I had to pay attention to that. That was, you know, it's like it's very effectual to my life. And if I were to lose healthcare, that would definitely suck. Like that would suck pretty bad. And so I'd want to be prepared for that. Ugh, I'm so phlegmy right now. Yeah. It's been 2 hours. That's cool. I am sorry that today was such a late stream. I ended up sleeping more than I wanted to, and then I had to do a bunch of stuff. So I got started as soon as I could. But yeah. Apologies for the late stream. Our existence is politics for the time being. Hopefully in a generation too, it won't be. We'll be mad at the androids for some cyberpunk thing. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do think that the pushback against trans folk is it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. Sorry, I had to like blast the cat hair out of my keyboard because there's a bunch of cat hair all over my keyboard. Um, People will realize that no school kids are coming home from school trans. They will focus on a new out group. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I don't know. I don't know. Evelyn said, aha, please laugh at my joke. What joke? I don't see a joke. All I see is your thing about Rimuru. Oh my gosh. I am tired. I am very tuckered today. I wish I wasn't, but I am very, very tuckered. Um, Hi Ryan. I was gonna do some gaming, but honestly, I'm not really in a gaming mood. I haven't not been feeling like gaming lately. Um, when I get like really overwhelmed or really tired or whatever, I like lose the motivation to play video games because playing video games, even though it's fun and engaging, it takes a level of effort that sometimes I can't even muster. And so I end up just like watching shows or something. So that's what I've been doing lately. I've just been watching like shows instead of gaming. I tend to do that stuff in cycles. Like I'll go through a cycle where I don't play video games for a little bit, and then I'll like watch a bunch of shows, and then I'll get bored of watching shows, and I'll go back to playing video games. Uh, you're always after work and never want to play games. Yeah, like I'm usually it's like after a long day of working or doing whatever, I just like want to like just sit there and stare at a screen. Boy howdy. There sure has been a lot of weather. Hot, rainy, stormy, maybe even tornadoes, hell in the sinuses. Yeah, no, for real. Weather this summer has been pretty unhinged. The heat wave that just happened in Ohio, it was disgusting. Like honestly, I've sort of like um I sort of like well, I always have a short weekend because I work in food, and so I usually end up working Friday and Saturday and Sunday sometimes too. Well, actually, usually I always work like Friday and Sunday, and sometimes I get Saturday off, but I have to like open on Sundays, and so like I can't enjoy my Saturday because I have to like be in at like 8 in the morning or 6 in the morning or whatever, and it's really annoying. So I pretty much always have a short weekend. Uh, but yeah, the heat wave, like it's been in the 90s, like sometimes it's like 96 degrees and it says like feels like 100 because it's been paired with this intense humidity where like you get this in Ohio there's like a level of humidity that's just like insane, and that combined with the heat is just unbearable. It's just so hot and muggy, and it's rough. But this coming week it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be like in the 80s and less like less ridiculously overwhelmingly hot, and so I am very much looking forward to that. Very much so. Having a non-contiguous weekend block should be illegal. Uh, it's just frustrating because like a lot of people ask off for the weekends, and so then the people who don't ask off for the weekends end up getting scheduled every weekend. And I've seen that happen in like a bunch of different restaurants, and it's really frustrating because it should be a burden shared amongst everyone, and instead some people are like, yeah, I'm not going to work weekends, sorry. And then everyone else that says they're available to work weekends are just screwed. That's a normal day in South Texas. Are you sure that includes the humidity? Because I've been to the South, and like dry heat is very, very, very different from the humid heat that we were experiencing. And you also have to consider the fact that like different people are acclimated to different climates, and people in Ohio are not acclimated to 100-degree days. Like when it's like 100 degrees outside, people in Ohio are not used to that, and so it hits different. Welcome back, Skylar. I hope that you enjoyed your energy drink run. Thank you, Axolotl, for the shout out. Yeah, please like the stream. I mean, I used to get weekends on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I had the choice to do Saturdays and Wednesdays, back to back days without a second thought. Uh, Humidity messes with you because it makes sweating pointless. Yeah. Come to Arizona, it's a dry heat. I honestly, I just hate the heat, period. Like, I just do not like this hot weather we're having. I like Ohio for the most part. Like, I like that we get all the seasons. Like, I like that there's a cold season and a hot season and whatever. But the climate change has definitely made it like much more extreme. Temperatures used to be a lot more moderate in Ohio, but climate change has been screwing that all the way up. Like, I remember, that's honestly, it blows my mind that some people can think climate change doesn't exist, and a lot of those people are like older, when like I have lived through climate change. Like, I've literally experienced it happening, and it's like, I don't understand. Like, do these people not remember what the weather was like 20 years ago? Because I do. It was not like this. It was very different. It was so much more moderate here in Ohio. It's mostly the same in PA too. Yeah. Don't forget to join the Discord server. Yeah, I have the link pinned in chat. It's a link tree. If you click that, you'll see the Discord link in there. Feel free to join. We've got a friendly Discord server. Lots of cool people in there if you're looking for community and support and stuff. Lots of friendly folks. Would love to see you. Always chatting about stuff, and it's a great server. I can handle negative 20 degrees, but anything over, doing calculations to American, say 80 feels like death to me. Yeah, I would say anything over 80 is definitely like way too hot. Although after the weeks that we just had, 80 degrees feels like nothing. Like, it feels so good at 80 degrees, which is ridiculous because that's still really hot. But you just yeah. I actually love the heat, but I don't like not being able to dress for it at work. Apparently, cut-off band tees and cargo shorts aren't professional. Yeah, I totally get that. Like, I gotta wear jeans at work, which in the heat really sucks. What's your favorite season? My favorite season is probably fall. I like spring too, but I really like fall. I love fall. Love fall. Americans have short-term memory and let Fox News rewrite their own lived experience. I hate how true that is. I hate how true that is. That's so true. Oh God. Here in Nevada, you get everything all the time. Yeah, Ohio has a pretty crazy like mix of weather. Like, we get it oscillates quite rapidly between different weather seasons. February was the time when spring started, but now it's the month when the heaviest snowfall here. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that like winter used to be like contained within winter, and now like the worst winter weather always shows up in like early spring now. It's just, I don't know. Like the difference in weather is so noticeable for me over the past 20 years that it's just shocking that I don't hear more people in Ohio talking about it. Like, oh my gosh. My job was forced to let us wear shorts because they barely bother turning on the AC. I'm sorry to hear that. That really sucked. That super sucked. Oh, Freddy, I used hand sanitizer and he just licked my fingy and he was like, bleh. Well, I think it's been a little bit since I used it, but you know, it leaves like a little smell on your fingers, so I'm assuming that doesn't taste very good. Northern Arizona gets hot, but we would just sit in the creeks all the time when not working around Sedona. It's paradise. Oh. In regards to climate change, pretty much everything else, people don't observe things for themselves, seemingly. Yeah, no, and it's also very true that people have like a very short collective memory. People definitely tend to just like not remember things. I remember things. I remember everything. Yeah, snow farther and farther into April and May in the last 10 years. Yeah, exactly. And like we don't get, like, I don't get any snow in December, January, even February. Often there's like barely any snow throughout all of winter, and then you start getting into like the early spring months, and suddenly it's like 12 inches of snow, 20 inches of snow. Like it just like comes down like crazy, and it's just ah, ah. You know, I was actually at a doctor's appointment, and my doctor asked me like how I felt about everything, like how I was feeling, blah 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 blah. And I was like, you know, I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life, but I feel like the world is like going crazy all around me. Like it's just like everything is just like totally whacked up. And my doctor was like, I try not to use the word crazy, but I definitely feel like it has been crazy. And it made me think about that. And I was like, I did not realize that people were like avoiding that word. I guess I understand like the potentially ableist reading of that, but like I never use it in that context. I always just use it for things that are like whacked up or whatever. And now every time I say the word, it's like I think about that, and I'm like, should I stop saying that word? I don't know. I never use it in like a bad context. I don't know. Random thought. Anyway, the best weather is at the equator in a place far away from the town, in the wild, where maximum and minimum temperatures are always 25 to 30. I don't know Celsius, to be honest. Like I can't really gauge what the good weather is. You miss white Christmases? Yeah, it's like barely ever snowing on Christmas, which like I don't even really care about Christmas, but like, you know. Anyway, chat. It's kind of late. I started late, but it's also kind of late, and I'm getting a little bit of a headache. And yeah. I've been trying to stop using crazy in that way too, been replacing it with wild or a more specific term. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I that's kind of what I've been thinking of too. Like, maybe I'll just say like wild or ridiculous, or like a synonym that doesn't have such a loaded connotation for people. Like, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, of course. Like, I just like I never use it in a derogatory context, so I never really think about it in that derogatory context, but it's absolutely true that people do do that. So, oh, thank you, Spencer, for being here. Enjoy your nightly routine. I hope you get some good rest. I'm probably not going to be very far behind you, to be honest, because it is kind of late here. I'm tired, kind of got a headache, kind of want to zone out to some TV. And 30C is 86 degrees Fahrenheit. That's too hot. That is too hot. I think for me, 80 degrees Fahrenheit is about the maximum of what I want for comfortable living. But yeah. All right. I appreciate you all being here. I know we didn't talk about too many politics things, but we talked about a little bit of politics things. And I appreciate chat for educating me on the fact that the bill is slightly less dystopian than I thought it was. Still dystopian, but slightly less so. So that's cool. I'm gonna have a video out probably later this week or something. I'm gonna start working on it. It's probably gonna be a video related to Ohio, the state that I live in, and yeah. Politics, schmolitics. Exactly. Exactly. Water, 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 for sure. I've probably just not been drinking enough water. I've been talking for a couple hours, and I noticed on stream it's like really hard for me to stay hydrated because you know, you're like talking a lot, and it's just hard to keep up the hydration. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all very much. Again, please like the stream, join the Discord. All of that is great, wonderful, and helpful. Thank you all so much for the support. It means a lot to me. I do have a Patreon, and I noticed that after my last video, I mentioned that I've been struggling a little bit with revenue, and I got some new Patreon supporters. And if you're watching, thank you. I will have a shout out in my next video about that, but I just wanted to say while I'm here, I really appreciate the support. It means a lot that people are trying to support me through the hard times for my channel. That means a lot to me, and I don't want that. I don't want people to think that that goes unnoticed. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for being here. Hopefully I'll see you like in the Discord or something like that, but or in my next video or whatever. But yeah, thank you all. Try to stay hydrated, try to take care of yourself, do a lot of self-care. Make sure that you're doing everything you can to stay on top of your own wellness and well-being, because that's super important right now. We all need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and keeping trans and queer joy alive, because that is a very effective form of resistance. They cannot erase us. They cannot get rid of us. We are here to stay. I will see you all in the next one. And until then, just stay hydrated. Peace out. Bye.